Hey everyone, welcome back to Kubrick Corner with me, Sean Wilson. So apologies for the lack of updates on this channel over the last few weeks, but several of my own self-imposed haircuts later, you can see the evidence. I'm back with another review for you. You may be under the impression that with only a limited number of exhibitors open at the moment, there aren't actually that many movies to engage with, but this actually isn't true. There are many films being released on the likes of Amazon Prime, BFI Player, and Curzon Home Cinema as the exhibition industry staggers back to some form of normality. You can check out some of my other videos on this channel for my thoughts on where the theatrical distribution area is going. But I wanted to talk to you about a very interesting film called Clemency, which is the feature film debut from Chinonwe Chukwu. So a Nigerian-American filmmaker who has made a very, very striking and very powerful film that is bound to stay with you. Anyone who is striving to look for provocative, emotionally stimulating material to get you through the remainder of what's left before we get back to full normality, I would encourage you to go and check out Clemency. So it stars Alfre Woodard, the brilliant Alfre Woodard from the likes of Passion Fish, Star Trek First Contact, 12 Years a Slave, fantastic actor, and she is on really top form in this as she plays Bernadine, and she is the warden of a prison facility, a death row facility, over which she has presided for many, many years. She has seen many criminals being sent to their death. The film opens with an incredibly horrific and gasp-inducing sequence in which there is an attempt at an execution, but the execution is botched and it goes horribly wrong. And what you get right from this opening scene acts as a microcosm of the themes of the wider film, which is you can see the emotional and psychological toll that state-sponsored executions have on the people that are required to attend and that are required to oversee them in a bureaucratic capacity. So that opening scene, the effects of that ripple throughout the rest of the film. Bernadine has a very loving husband played by Wendell Pierce, who is a teacher who is becoming increasingly concerned of the effect that this job is having on her. She is starting to drink more and more heavily. She is starting to experience moral doubts as to what the nature of her role is. Like, in what capacity can she take pride in her job? There is a recurrent theme, particularly when she drinks. She comes to say to people around, look, I am good at my job, but what exactly is it that she is good at? What is her authority based on? The idea of sending people to their death. Like, what is the moral emptiness underscoring that? And this comes to hang like a cloud over the character of Bernadine. And also there is, just as crucially, there is a character played by Aldous Hodge who is on death row, who has lost his appeal and is due to be sent for execution. And it's the ongoing back and forth between the Aldous Hodge character and the Alfre Woodard character in terms of, like, again, what are the moral parameters of this? How does one achieve redemption in this very, very, very sterile, very cold, very unfeeling environment in which death is the absolute. It's a very, very powerful film in terms of reclaiming sort of crass headline cliches about the death penalty and actually looking at what the emotional cost of the death penalty is. As I said, this is most keenly seen on the Alfre Woodard character, but also on the Aldous Hodge character as well. So you get it's a very, very balanced movie on both sides. You get it from the point of view of the bureaucrats who actually run the prison, from the point of view of the prisoners themselves. It's very, very well sketched, and Chukwu's direction is absolutely not melodramatic at all. And I think this is very, very important. It's not a hysterical, shrieking kind of tabloid baiting movie. It's very measured. It's very calm. It's very quiet. And I think what it does is that it's a movie that very carefully does not want to impose sort of moral judgments on the characters. What it's doing is it's trusting the audience to take away their own response in terms of how the characters are behaving, particularly the Alfre Woodard character, who is so brilliant, and she's such she's had an extraordinary career. I mean, I think this is the kind of movie that makes me appreciate her a lot more as a performer, because I've seen her in so many films, but in this she actually steps up and takes the central role, which Alfre Woodard doesn't always do that. She's sometimes, more often than not, a supporting character. Here she is front and centre, and she's terrific. There is a moment, I won't give away the context, there is a moment towards the end in which what you kind of have is an emotional uncoiling of the character. She is so tightly wound throughout the film, and she has to maintain this kind of this stern facade. And one also suspects that as a black woman in a position of authority, she cannot show any weakness at all. She's clearly working within a systemically unbalanced, potentially racist environment, and one suspects that she's trained herself not to show weakness to any of her male counterparts, because it's a very, very male oriented environment. But towards the end, that uncoiling of the character, that unpeeling of the character, which is not done with as I said, with hysterics or melodramatics, but just with, this, just the slightest facial expression communicates an extraordinary amount about this character. It communicates everything that we haven't seen prior to the start of the movie, the years of torment that this job has placed on her and has placed on her marriage. And I'd say Wendell Pierce is terrific as well. Also, Richard Schiff is really, really good as the lawyer representing Aldous Hodge's character, who wants out of the game. He wants out of it just as seemingly Alfre Woodard's character Bernadine wants out of it. Richard Schiff's character basically says, "Look, I'm done. I can't." One suspects the kind of moral stagnancy is also affecting his character as well. So across the board, you get a spectrum of viewpoints presented very, very impressively. By a very, very impressive director. Apparently, Chuk Woo is the first black woman to win the US Grand Jury Dramatic Prize at the Sundance Film Festival. Clearly very, very well deserved. I would encourage you to go and check this film out. It's an emotional workout, I'll say that, and probably unsurprising given the subject matter, but it will leave you thinking. And it's a reminder that just because the big screen experience might not be readily available at the moment, there are still very, very powerful stories from powerful filmmakers and actors that you ought to go and check out. It's called Clemency. It is now available on Curzon Home Cinema. So if you are going to see it, or if you have already seen it, drop me a comment here at Kubrick Corner, and I'll see you soon. Stay safe, everyone. Bye.